Welcome, Flyers fans. You're listening to Chris Mayer, Flyers Fan Mania 93 on YouTube.
All right. Look, it's another similar case of what's been happening recently with the Flyers tonight. They battle with the team. They play well. They bent, but they didn't break. And they end up losing this game 4-1, basically 2-1 with two empty netters for St. Louis. And look, I didn't think the Flyers played great. It felt like in the first period they were a little slow, not as reactive as the first period yesterday against Carolina. The second period it essentially was all Blues. They had the territorial advantage. You know, it seemed like they were starting to kind of get their legs rolling, and if they were able to maybe pot one or two in that second period, this game could have been a lot worse, and Martin Jones was very good as well. You know, one thing that I've noticed throughout the Flyers is since that Kings game, and again, I've mentioned this and I'll continue to mention this because I think there's something to build on there with that. If they're at least able to, you know, not necessarily, like, there's different ways that they're kind of growing in games. Like, they're playing better at different times. Overall, there's been certain areas of the game that have been different. Since that losing streak, obviously, like, the one thing is they just look a lot more quicker. Defensively, they've been better. They've scored a little bit more. Obviously, they're still having a lot of the same problems because they've lost. But, you know, the other thing is, too, they're at least in the game. You know, it's not like they're kind of just, you know, they're just, like, there, but they're not really playing well. Like, they're at least in the game. They've had leads at times. Like they just played overall better hockey. And tonight it's just you know, they go into the third and down 1-0. They come out, have a first couple shifts really good, starting to get momentum. Lindblom had two glorious chances and then he scores. And then right after, it's like I don't know what it is, but it's happened so much this year. It's even happened a lot in the past. But they just it's like a total brain fart after they at least tie the game or get a goal or whatever. And the other team goes right down and scores. And Tarasenko scores, ends up being the game winner, and that's how this one would end. So, lines in this one were pretty much the same. Few changes on the offensive side. Ratcliffe goes up to the top line with Drew and Atkinson. Lindblom slips down to the second line with Lawton and Konechny. Mayhew is on the left wing with Frost and JVR. And Willman, Brown, and McEwen, they keep the fourth line together. Provorov and Braun, Sanheim, Risto, Yandel, Seward, Jones is still in net because Hart is still dealing with some issues. So again, as I said, like, the Blues get the first goal in this game, first period. The Flyers had a lot of one-and-done chances throughout really the first 40 minutes of this game. They couldn't get much zone time really together. Lawton had a breakaway early, could have scored there, and Jones had some good saves early. Again, that kind of continued throughout the game. I thought Jones was very good tonight. Shen scored on a play in front on a scramble. The Blues just looked a lot better on breakouts, getting the puck out of the zone, just really crisp passes. And as soon as they were able to kind of hit the Flyers line, they either dumped it in, they gained it in speed, they cycled, they won puck battles. It felt like in the first 40 minutes of this game, the Blues probably won 80 to 85% of the puck battles. It honestly could have been more. So first period ends 1-0 St. Louis, and second period would end 1-0 Blues as well. But the Flyers had their chances in this game. First maybe 10 minutes or so were really all Blues. They kind of survived that. As I said, they bent, but they didn't break. They had their looks. Willman and McEwen had a 2-on-1. Then Giroux had a post on a really nice play by Ratcliffe on a back check that started the whole play. Flyers were kind of just pressing at that point. They had better shifts compared to what was happening in the previous 10 minutes, but they couldn't get really much going. Blues power play, it was a hold on Sanheim. Flyers had a good kill there. Jones had a couple good saves. But overall, they kind of battled throughout that whole penalty kill, and they were able to kill that one off. Flyers just could not win a puck battle. Then they ended up getting a power play here. Lawton gets tripped up on a chance that ended up coming out to the slot. And I think the Flyers mainly were able to generate chances because the Blues had some pretty bad turnovers throughout the first 40 minutes of this game. And the Flyers have a really good power play, much, much better than yesterday. Against Carolina, they had lots of good passing, crisp, all that stuff. And overall, they zipped the puck around, and Drew had the chance late that almost tied it, ended up going right through the crease. Flyers got to tie the game right there. They didn't do much with the remaining 30 seconds at the start there, but they had many looks overall. Early in the third period, as I said, Lindblom had a chance to end up going high. Blues had a 3-on-1 chance. Silverman a great play on the back check. If not, that's a slam dunk for Tarasenko, and that game's over right there when he scores 2-0. But he doesn't, and then Lindblom would end up getting the goal for the Flyers. So just a shot from the point, seeing eye shot, goes right in, and Flyers tie it. And then, as I said, immediately right after, Tarasenko makes it 2-1. Blues would add 2 more empty netters, and that's how this one would end. So it's just unfortunate because I think if the Flyers actually had the talent and weren't injured, they'd be able to win these games and score on the chances they're getting. But that's how it is. You got to play the rest of the season like this, and as much as everybody wants to look at it as on the loss side of things, I know that they've lost, I think it's 30 of their last 37, and Yo doesn't necessarily have the greatest record either. But one thing I will say that Mike Yo has really changed has been somewhat of the culture. It seems like the way that they play since that Kings game has been a lot better. They've been more up tempo. It just seems like they're playing more as a group. They kind of gain a little bit of confidence. And I think it's more of just showing right now that they don't have the actual talent to play and to score. Not to play, but to score and to win games. But they at least have the talent to compete. And he's getting the most out of just about everybody. So, look, it is what it is. And they ended up losing this one, so that's 6 in a row now. And got Washington on Saturday at 12:30, so we'll see what happens there. Flyers played really well against the Caps, ended up blowing that game, choked late. So we'll see what happens there. Flyers could win that one. They showed that they can play with Washington. They beat them earlier in the season. They played with them late here, so we'll see. It should be a good game, but thank you guys for watching. Remember to check out SeatGeek and Garrett Group Construction. Both links to them will be in the description below. And also the merch, anything like that. If you guys want to check it out, it's always in the description below. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you all again soon.